Hey vlog! So today I'm going to do a video a little different. I'm going to be sharing my testimony. If you don't know me personally, I just recently got baptized at my church, and I wanted to share a little bit about why I made that decision and my testimony, my story on why that was the next step in my faith. Like 2 Sundays ago, my church asked us to write our testimony, so I'm using this to kind of expand on that for myself and also for you guys so you can hear my testimony. Before we start, I'd like to do a prayer with me, you, whoever is behind the screen. So would you bow your head and close your eyes with me? Dear God, I hope you speak through me today, and thank you for reaching them, God. If they are on the other side of this screen, they are watching this for a reason, and I hope that whatever they wanted or needed out of this video comes to them through you, God. I pray that you speak through me in this video. Amen. Okay, so I'm just gonna hop right into it. I grew up in a Christian household. I went to church every Sunday. We have crosses all over our house. I went to church kind of because it was just what we did. And I went to church because I believed in God. However, I didn't have a relationship with him. And I think that's not something that I realized until I grew up and got older. I knew that Jesus loved me. I knew that God loved me. I just didn't have a relationship with him. And I didn't go to God or pray to God when I needed things or when I needed help. I just didn't have a connection. I didn't have a relationship with him. Sometimes my parents and I would read the Bible before I went to bed. We'd pray when I was younger, before I went to bed and before we ate. But as my family grew up, we didn't stop believing in God, but we kind of distanced ourselves from it. Not intentionally, but none of us really had a true relationship with God. So fast forward to junior high, I started going to my old church regularly. I would help set up middle school services on Wednesdays and attend church. I even served in pre-K at that church. However, I went to church for the same reason I did as a kid. I didn't go to church to build a relationship with Jesus. Instead, I went to church to hang out with my friends and feel like I was doing good deeds. And I went to church so that God would like me, essentially. I went to church not really for God. And in middle school, it was a really rough time for me. It was when COVID hit. I was utterly obsessed with TikTok. In 8th grade, my parents divorced and we stopped going to church altogether. So I started resorting to social media. Also, it was a very anxious time for me. I mean, it was COVID. Because I was resorting to these things that were not fulfilling, I started treating people with very little respect because I thought nothing really meant anything. I kind of lost hope. Just I'm a living being. I have no purpose. I found little importance in anything that I did. And because of that, I lost respect for my sister, my parents, my friends. I started treating them as if they could just come in and out of my life and I don't really care. I fought a lot with the people that I loved. So I started to make friends that had the same mindset as me. Eventually, I just wanted to have hope in something. It was very depressing. It felt like there was no end. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to church. I went to the same church again. I started going there with my friends so that I wasn't going there alone. But my mindset was always, I'm excited to hang out with my friends and not, I'm here to build a connection with God. And this went on for about a few months. I was really close to just stop going to church because the church I was at didn't make me feel like I was there to build a relationship with God. I did not like the atmosphere. A lot of the people who went there just went there to hang out with friends, and I really just didn't feel fulfilled in that environment, and I didn't feel like I was really building a connection with God. One day, last September or October, my church hosted an invite night. My friend Sabrina invited me to her church, and I was like, this is literally perfect timing. God spoke through her to get to me and say, hey, I know this church isn't working out for you. Come try this one. And so I go to this church. I don't know really anybody besides my friend Sabrina who invited me. She made me feel so welcome. And everybody at that church made me feel so welcome. That night, I really felt I belonged at that church. I was like, this just feels so much different than my last church. And I feel God in this space. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make the other church seem bad because a lot of people I know love my old church. I love that they are building a relationship with God through that church. It just wasn't the right one for me. I started going to youth groups at my church now. I really like it. I felt like I was guided on how to build a relationship with God, which is something that I didn't get or understand from my last church. Through this time, I started to rely on God more. I was happier. I started to find joy in most things that I did. With Jesus in my life, I feel like I have a whole new perspective on everything. Also, my youth group leader, shout out to Kaylee, love her. She taught some really amazing lessons in our youth group. I felt God speaking through her. I was like, this is insane, never felt this way before. In March, there was baptisms. I went to that service, and not only was the message amazing, I was like, I want to do that. I feel like I'm ready to do that. If you don't already know, a baptism is an outward expression of an inward decision. You are saying yes to Jesus. To your friends, to your family, you're saying yes to Jesus. I felt I was in a place with my faith that I really wanted to get baptized. Baptisms last weekend in May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. I got baptized. It was amazing. I love Jesus. I love Jesus, and I'm not afraid to say it. So I hope if you find this video and you've watched until now, I hope that I've gotten my message across. With Jesus in my life, I am a better person. I'm a happier person. So that was my short little testimony. I hope that whoever is watching this video right now has an amazing rest of their day, amazing rest of your life. See you in my next vlog.